Today we are taking a look at Operation Pontus, a story-driven dynamic campaign by 373 VFS and Baltic Dragon. The general idea is to create a replayable campaign running roughly 30 missions that will vary depending on how well you do in each mission, with results directly affecting the next. This campaign uses a rather novel way of handling progress, so let's get into it. Okay, so let's take a look at how this all works then. So we've got our basic briefing. This includes information like the carrier here. We've got a UAV providing forward air control. We've got a safe zone at waypoint 1. And we've got lists of various threats and ground targets. So the meat of it here is the mission's the same every time, except it's not the same every time. So essentially, we enter a code from the previous mission. Let's have a look. Previous mission. This sets the starting conditions for each mission, as well as giving us our objective, the rundown on what's happening. So today we've got to take out a military convoy. We have roaming threats in the form of SA-6s, SA-8s and short-range anti-air defences. We also have our coordinates listed here in MGRS and lat long formats. So with that information we now need to plan our mission. So if I move this out of the way, we're going to go into the mission planner. And so here's where we need to set up our mission. We've got some instructions on the side. And we've got our various flights, and my flight, then we've got the 4 supporting flights with fish, hooters, pickles and trimmer. And we've got the various operations areas. We progress through the campaign. We'll start here at 1 and go all the way through to 6 to 8 at the end. We've also got the cap areas, Alpha, Bravo and Charlie, which we can assign cap flights to. Okay, so our mission was to destroy a convoy. So we're going to start setting up our waypoints. So I'm going to make sure I've got my aircraft selected. This is the first waypoint which we can edit. I'm going to put that one on bullseye. So just there would do. So our first waypoint takes us to the Awacs check-in point. Second waypoint is Bulls, so I will name it as such. Bulls. Now we need to set up our third waypoint, and since this is a relatively simple mission, I'm going to just set it up on my target right away, so we don't have to fly too far. So if we reference the debriefing image from the end of the last mission, our target coordinates are 4225 latitude. So we're going to use the coordinates down here. So 42, what was it again? 25, 4225. And the longitude was 4215, so across to here. So our target area is roughly here. Let's fine tune that. 4225, 52. So up to 52, and longitude 421507, so down to 07. So our target area is about here. So I'm going to add a new waypoint, place it here. We'll call this one target, and I'm going to set the altitude to 0, so it sets it to ground level. With our waypoint set, I'm now going to set up our way home. This is again a very short mission. I'm going to add a tanker, so we've got our tanker track out here. And we'll go back to 15,000. Now, I don't expect to need the tanker, but it's always useful to have a waypoint there. So now we've got our flight set up. So we've got to take off, fly to waypoint 1 at the rendezvous point Starbucks. From there, we check in with the AWACS, fly onto Bullseye, and then onto our target. Once we're done there, we'll probably fly direct home, or to the tanker if we need it. So with our flight plan set up, let's set up our weapons. Now I need to set up, I've pre-selected it, so I've got already one here. So I've got Pont 1, this is AIM-9Xs, 2 AGM-65Fs, targeting pod and 2 laser guided bombs. I'm going to set up my wingman to carry the same payload. And now we need to set up our supporting flights. So we've got here Fish as Cap Alpha, Hooters as Cap Bravo, Pickles as Cas, and Trim as Seed. If we look at the cap zones, Cap Alpha is a long way off from us. We've got Cap Bravo, that's in a useful area, and Cap Charlie, which is again probably useful, so that's more useful than Alpha, so we rename the trigger group to Charlie. And I think I want a third flight, second flight on Bravo, so we're going to change Pickles from Cas. We can select their trigger group. We'll set them up as Cap, and I want them on Bravo as well. So now, let's try that again, Bravo. And now they'll go to the same area as Hooters, and Trimmer will be seed, I'm fine with that. Like I said, in the mission brief we had some SA 6 and 8 threats. We don't know where they are, so it'll be useful to have those guys on station. The caps are set up, so we've got Charlie, Bravo, and of course Trimmer with the seed. So let's set up at last the loadouts. This is a bit painstaking, to be honest, as you have to do each aircraft one by one, so I need to find... Let's have a look. There's a cap loadout, here we go. So, what's that? 6 AMRAAMs, 3 tanks, 2 M9s. Set up number 2. And now I've got to go through and set this up for every other aircraft. So we'll quickly go through that. Okay, with the cap set up, now we're going to set up the seed. So loadout, let's find a seed loadout I like. I think I have one saved already, seed 2. What's that one got? That's got AGM 65Fs. I don't want them to be carrying Fs, I want them to just be carrying harms. So have we got one that's just harms? No, okay, create a new one. Got this seed 2. No, seed 2 is already used. Seed 3. And we're going to add in some 88Cs instead of those. Instead of those Mavericks. Okay, so we've got everything set up. We got seed, 3 flights of cap, and myself as strike. We could of course have set up a CAS or a second flight doing strike to help us, but the recent missions have been quite heavy on the air-to-air combat, so I want to make sure we have a supremacy, so of course we're going to take more fighters up. Alright, so mission is set up. We fly out to waypoint 1, on to waypoint 3 for target, and home. Let's get into the sim. Alright, we're on deck. We've got the briefing again, so I'm going to go start plugging in the code we got from the end of the previous mission, which was Juliet Hotel, Juliet Delta Quebec.
On the flight deck, air crews are preparing for launch. The temperature is 42 degrees, the altimeter is 2983. It's time for all unnecessary personnel to clear the catwalk and the flight deck. All flight deck personnel get into the complete proper flight deck uniform. Helmets on and buckled. Sleeves rolled down, goggles down, life vests on and securely fastened. Check chocks, tie-downs, and all loose gear about the deck. Check your pockets for fraud. Check for all rudder clearances and prop work. Start all the go aircraft for the upcoming launch. Start them up.
Okay, all fields entered. Other. Check code. Juliet Hotel, Juliet Delta Quebec. That is correct. Submit code. And yes. Okay, so now the mission will configure itself based on our progress in the campaign. Got the repeat of our briefing. Alright, let's get this jet started up and we will head on out.
Salute, Lieutenant Commander. I'm going quickly through the latest updates. We managed to spot Temur Gunava's and Vladimir Kakulia's location. Temur was an army colonel. Although he didn't climb high in the hierarchy, he managed to gain respect among his colleagues and soldiers. Intel indicates that he is the head of the special operations. Kakulia was a former parliament member of the rival party. His political ambitions forced him to cooperate with the instigators. Intel spotted them in a convoy of military vehicles that is currently stopped in the following coordinates. Command orders the destruction of the convoy. You should get ready for the attack. Here are the target coordinates. I wish you good luck, sir.
Alright, running them up. We're ready to launch. Salute. 2 is just beside us, about to take off as well. Here we go.
Flights, Colt 11 is now airborne. Report status.
Colt 11, Uzi 11. We own the sky, sir.
Colt 11, Dodge 11. Ready to become an ace, sir.
Colt 11, this is Ford 11. Ready for combat air patrol.
Colt 11, this is Chevy 11. We are airborne and ready for seed, sir.
Flights, this is Colt 11. From now on, keep communications to a minimum. The enemy is monitoring all the frequencies.
Okay, so all our flights have checked in with their roles. We're now going to come on over to our objective. I want to get rid of the clock, because that always annoys me. There we go. Right, we're heading on now to waypoint 1, where we will check in with the Awacs. We've got a little code matrix we need to use to sign in and make sure we're validated. Everyone else should also be out on the way to do the same thing. So whilst we're setting up, let's have a look at some of the options for the AI. So if I open up the radio menu,
Okay, in a few minutes we will lose our cover from the fleet and then we will be on our own.
Roger, sir.
Follow my lead and report anything that draws your attention.
Yes, sir.
Try to remain focused. There are a lot of things here that can go south.
I will do my best, sir.
I know you will. I have faith in you. Leave all of your thoughts behind and everything will become natural.
Roger, sir.
Alright, okay, before I was interrupted, as I was saying, we go to Other, and we can now configure things so we can tell flights to return to base, we can set their options, we can re-show their briefing. So I go to Flight Options here. We can have RTB conditions, this is quite useful. So I'm going to set up Fish to set themselves as, let's see, when they run out of air-to-air missiles, come home. And I want to set that up for all our flights, because I don't want them going into fights without any more missiles.
Darkstar, Uzi 1-1.
Uzi 1-1. Darkstar.
Uzi 1-1, checking in.
Uzi 1-1, are you ready to authenticate?
Darkstar, Uzi 1-1, ready to authenticate.
Uzi 1-1, authenticate Charlie, Delta Bravo.
Darkstar, authenticate Charlie.
Authentication correct.
Darkstar, Uzi 1-1, authenticate Golf, Hotel, Alpha.
Authenticate India, Uzi 1-1, radar contact.
Right, so what you just heard there in the background as I was doing that was one of our flights checking in ahead of us with Awacs. We've got a couple aircraft out there. They're probably one of the other flights that we've got in our group. Alright, so I've set up most of the flights now to return when they run out of air-to-air missiles. I didn't see an option for SEED to return after running out of missiles. I don't know if ASM, air-to-surface missile I presume, but it could also be anti-ship missile, I'm not certain. Alright, let's head on to 1, and then we'll check in with Awacs.
Darkstar, Colt 1-1, how copy?
Colt 1-1, Darkstar.
Colt 1-1, ready to check in.
Colt 1-1, are you ready to authenticate?
Darkstar, Colt 1-1, I am ready.
Colt 1-1, authenticate Echo, Foxtrot Bravo.
Okay, so we've got our code matrix. So we've got Echo Foxtrot Bravo, so we go down to Echo Foxtrot Bravo, that comes out as Bravo. So, Other Awacs check-in Bravo.
Authenticate Bravo.
Correct.
Darkstar, Colt 1-1, authenticate Golf, Hotel Bravo.
Authenticate Tango, Colt 1-1, radar contact.
Alright, so we are now checked in with the Awacs. We're going to push on to our next waypoint. Our cap flights should be out somewhere ahead of us already. In fact, you can see the callouts there. We've got engaging bandits at balls 222 for 17. So looks like the cap are doing hard work. Sounds like it's a good thing I brought extra today. Let's head on toward our objective. Alright, so there we go, there's a message. We've lost Phoenix 2-2, and talk of the devil, I'm spiked 23. Alright, I need to make sure my countermeasures are set. Nan 1, HUD on. Okay, I don't know what's going on out there at the moment, so we check. We've got, well, 2 flights of aircraft here, one coming toward friendlies, one coming toward us. That gets me a bit concerned. Fish has been shot down. Okay, looks like I didn't bring enough cap after all. That's concerning. We lost 2 aircraft already, so this is all tracked in the campaign progress, so if you achieve air supremacy, get a lot of air-to-air kills or air-to-air losses, it affects you positively and negatively in the future missions. It doesn't look like things are going too well for us right now. Alright, so we got 2 groups. I don't know who these guys are. I need to start thinking about the mission really. I'm hoping they're going to do their job, so waypoint designate, get the targeting pod on target. Nope, that'd be the wrong one, that's the bullseye. That's the target area. Alright, 23 is getting a bit close. And let's zoom in on this. There we go, there's the convoy, right where they said it would be. So we've got 2 Shokers, a BMP, and I think 2 cars. And I'm hoping that cap will do their job. I'm starting to get a bit antsy about this. It looks like there's still a few aircraft between us. I assume that's the seed flight behind us. And that bandit is headed right for us. I'm worried about that guy. Okay, alright, switching to air-to-air. No, don't want that guy. Scare down. Scare down.
5 miles at 11,000.
Roger, tally your target.
Yeah,
Two,
okay,
what's your
we're in
pilot?
trouble.
1, I am frail. I have 2 bogies visual.
Roger,
Alright.
ready to engage.
Roger.
Last arm on. This is getting tight. Alright. Fox 3 on him.
Fox 2 on the lead.
And immediately lost our lock. Wonderful. Let's put out defensive. I've got to hope the cap flight start doing something more useful because we're in real trouble here.
The other one is breaking right.
Roger, I see him. I'm going after him. Going for guns.
Still smart by 23.
Guns. Kronos, Perseus 1. Both bandits are down. Request picture, over.
Perseus 1, Kronos.
Alright.
Picture is clear. You're clear to return home.
IFF. Hostile. Missile.
Go get the Chevy. Nice shot.
Fox 2. Alright, Splash 1. I'll be good now. Still 29 out there in the distance. And with only one M9, I'm not too happy about this. So our cap has completely failed us today. Looks like we draw the short straw on the enemy interceptors. That's 2 there. We turn cold. Get ourselves out of here a bit. Get some distance. Alright, what's our picture? So we've got...
4-1-1, I got some damage. Ejecting.
Well, there goes Pickles. We're doing terrible today for the air-to-air. So I've done this mission twice, I think, in total. And I've never had it go this bad on me. That was a little hotter than I wanted to be. Okay, we need to do this quick, so I'm going to switch over to air-to-ground. I'm going to hope that the Mavericks stay warmed up good. I'm going to set us up with the flare, and we want designate. I'm going to ask 2 to engage, let's see, ground targets.
Engage targets of opportunity.
Well, Colt 1-1 is not me, but they're quite
Pontiac 1, engaging
business. I don't think it's me. I've actually forgotten what my call sign is. It's a problem because I'm referred to as Phoenix 1-1, but of course DCS has its own call signs. Okay, how are we doing on fuel? 11. No sight. Let's put it round. We are Spike 29 now. Come on, where's our cap flights? They're doing terribly. So it looks like the enemy came out in force, I guess. Okay. The convoy's moved, that's not good news. Zoom out. Alright, so we got targets here. Let's set up Mavericks. Focus. Let's get ourselves set up and do this quickly. So of course there's a tremendous amount of things going on right now. I hope that 29's not going to bother me. Taking a bit of a risk here doing the attack. Alright, zoom in. Good track. Come on. Rifle. Okay. Let's set up second one over here. Cage, uncage. Yep, looks good. Get into the keyhole. And rifle. Let's pull up. I'm a little bit worried I'm quite low now, because there are probably surface-to-air missiles IR down there. I'll come out. See how our missiles do. Still tagged by that 29. I'm hoping he's trying to attack our cap flight. Alright, we lost visual on the targeting pod.
Code 1-1, this is Chevy 1-1. I Hit, sir. I've got to eject.
Trimmer's been shot down. This is turning into a quite scary mission. Okay, so let's have a look. Looks like 2 was attacked. And looks like the whole convoy there is dead. Let's get flight formation. Go line abreast.
Go line abreast.
And that's 23 in the distance now. Is still locking us. Target destroyed. We can return. Good. So we can see out there. I mean, that must be the 23 locking us here, and we've got
Good
2
job,
friendlies
Dodge. Nice shot.
who are engaging them. So we're just getting a second-hand spike. Alright, we need to GTFO, so let's see. I want my seed package to return, so other flights RTB, and I want flight 4 to return home if they're still up. Alright, so we just told our remaining cat flights to return. There's not very many of them left, I'm afraid. And it looks like there's still 1 or 2 hostile aircraft out there. We're just about back over the Awacs checkpoint, and we're going to head on home to land. So it's one of the things I quite like about this campaign, is I've run this mission a couple times, and every time it's come out a little differently. And this particular time it was a lot more hostile aircraft than I expected, and our cat flight
Nice shot, Dodge 1-1.
did not fare well. So there we go, someone else has now shot down one more fighter as they pull out, I assume. Yeah, so I really do quite enjoy just how busy things get out there. It's interesting. Every time it runs a little bit differently. And I've had events where a convoy on the ground has been ambushed, and of course when that happens it helps to have a CAS flight available. Of course I've neglected the ground forces on this mission, so there's a chance of them getting into trouble, and then that would negatively affect the campaign going forwards on the ground. I'm hoping, since I committed quite heavily to air-to-air, we've shot down a lot of aircraft today, although we have lost quite a few aircraft too. So as the missions and campaign progresses, essentially you run through a series of missions, and each mission has an outcome, gives you a code, as we'll see in a bit, and as we reach those positions we'll be able to find out how we did. So we'll say we didn't do too well on mission in air-to-air, the enemies start to get more fighters up, we've got fewer fighters available. Or if we have a lot of success and we shoot down a lot of enemy fighters, so not too many losses. Of course, the enemy will have less of an air-to-air presence in the subsequent missions, so it all kind of comes down to how you run your missions as to how the threats are set up in the future missions. Right, so we are safe, we're over waypoint 1. We'll go down to the boat and land.
Tower 101. Overhead Angels 1.5.
Whoa, okay.
Low state 6.7.
So we're under attack as we come into land at the moment.
101. Tower, roger. BRC 316. Signal is
It's not what you expect to see on approach.
101.
Enemy fighter destroyed. Sounds like we got him with the carrier there defending us. Thank goodness for that. And free wire, nice.
Welcome back, sir. Glad you're back in one piece. Our latest intel shows increased enemy air activity. It seems that we need to focus more on air-to-air missions to establish our superiority, plus seed for safer future air-to-ground missions. I would suggest that with your experience, you and your wingman should go for seed. Lieutenant Trimmer and Lieutenant Fish to cap tasks in Bravo and Charlie, AOR. I would assign Lieutenant Hooters and Lieutenant Pickles to seed missions. Here are the target coordinates that the General Command has set as a priority in case we will manage to coordinate a strike mission. Please let me know your thoughts, sir.
Thanks. I'll go through our options and prepare the orders for the guys.
Alright, so there's the end screen briefing for this mission. We've got Echo Charlie, Echo Foxtrot Yankee as our mission code this time round. And they're suggesting we bring more air-to-air, and I completely agree with them on that one. We've had our asses handed to us today. Okay, so on the map here, if we check out the missions, so we've got here, this was our mission today, and if I check out this one here, this is the mission data for the next mission. We've got the coordinates again, and we've got SA-15s on this mission. And what I'd recommend is at the end of each mission you take a screenshot, so I'm going to get rid of that marker. of the target area, so say about here, press print screen, and now you've saved all this information for the next mission. So like I said, we've got to worry about enemy aircraft, because we really did get beaten bad today, and SA-15s. So that's the general loop. You complete a mission, it records the successes and losses, and how well you did and how well the enemy did, and then of course manipulates the next mission to adjust what you're going to face as you go on through the campaign. Of course, unfortunately, this is the only drawback. You are of course limited to what the AI can achieve, and the AI in DCS can be a bit suicidal sometimes. So with our VIP and his convoy taken out, we can now move on to the next mission. I do think this is a really neat idea. The campaign has been quite exciting, lots of things going on. But of course you are at the behest of the AI and their, should we say, quirks and deficiencies. Sometimes you will just have incredible losses and be unlucky. But so far it's been quite an exciting couple missions. Hope you enjoyed and take care.